It has to be said, Yvette Cooper has now done her best to kind of diffuse this discussion and say, no, actually, she doesn't agree with that. But nonetheless, do you think there's something in it, Colleen?
Yeah, I do think there's something in it, and I know what she means. You know, if somebody is lecturing you about childcare or how difficult it must be for you, if they haven't experienced it, you do want to go, well, how would you know that? And I also think, I don't think it's imperative that they have to have children to become Prime Minister, which is what you said in the link.
Sorry.
But anyway... No, I'm only messing. I don't think it's imperative, but I do think when you become a parent, I don't know, it softens you, it changes everything, really. It makes
but you know
selfless.
that anyone out there who's not a parent will be saying, what, are you saying I'm not soft?
Yeah? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I've got two sisters who've never had children. Yeah. But I don't know, their priorities, I suppose, are so different to my priorities. I don't know. I don't think I can't even explain it until you become a parent.
But because we don't, obviously, it's about Prime Minister here. We don't live in a dictatorship. It's a collaborative process. You know, we have a cabinet. So to me, it makes no difference at all whether the Prime Minister's got children, because people around that table are a representation of all sorts of things in life, you know, be it the Black, Asian communities or gay community. Or
we want diversity,
people with children,
generally.
people without children, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't really make any difference to me at all, because I also think, you know, there are male gynecologists, for example, and you don't think, well, you can't be a gynecologist because you haven't got a vagina.
And you should get that word in somewhere.
It's a medical term.
You've been working on it all morning.
It's a medical term.
What do the audience think about this? Let's ask the audience on this one. Who thinks it does make a difference and that being a parent would make you a better leader of the country? Who would say yes?
No.
Absolutely nobody.
You see...
You don't think it makes any difference at all? Right, well, there you go. That's unequivocal, isn't it?
Having children, being realistic about it, having children is the best thing, in my opinion, you ever do in your life. And there's no doubt about it, as Colleen says, in some issues, I guess having children would help you understand family issues, childcare, etc. But the Prime Minister in Greece today, for example, in this meeting, it wouldn't matter at all whether he had children or not. He's on a world stage. It's not just domestic. It's a world stage that he has to perform on.
I suppose
and
the other
therefore
side
his
of it,
strengths as a leader.
Yeah, the other side of it is you could say that you become less focused potentially as a parent because you have got all of these other sort of concerns. I mean, certainly not in terms of political role, but I would say that I definitely changed since I became a parent. And funnily enough, I started doing this women before I had kids. And Nadia and I used to do it together, and we used to get really humpy about the fact that always in a discussion about children, people would say to us, oh, how do you two know you don't have children? And we go away and go, no, it doesn't matter. Why do you have... And then we both had kids, and we said, God, actually, they were right. Because you do kind of change.
You're so much nicer now since you've had kids.
But it was a very low bar that I set.
So would we be sitting here having this discussion about a male Prime Minister?
Well,
I know David Cameron's got children, but would we all, you know, would we as a country or in the newspapers...
Well, Jane, we've had a female Prime Minister, and we didn't have the discussion then because it was Margaret Thatcher.
Because she had children.
Yeah.
But also, but again, you know, I wouldn't have said she was particularly the most maternal person I've ever met. But would we look at a male, the candidates? I don't remember us ever discussing that, you know, Gordon Brown or Ed Miliband or whoever were a better candidate because they had children.
It's only because Yvette Cooper then brought this up. Is that what you're saying?
No, it wasn't Yvette Cooper that brought it up. It was somebody who was supporting. But I tell you what, I have found interesting in this. I mean, there was one of the potential contenders for the Labour leadership. Is it Dan Travers, his name is? I'm just thinking of my head. He actually declined to enter the race because he's a widower and he's got young children. And he said, well, no, you know, I'm not able to do it because I've got family. And I thought that was a really interesting thing that a man said, no, I'm going to, you know, concentrate my efforts on my family.
Parent,
yeah, but it was just a kind of sign of the times. But has it changed you as a person?
I guess so. I don't particularly notice that it has, but you know, I'm thrilled to bits that I was lucky enough to have children, and I would actually have liked to have had more. Now I look back, if there's one thing I'd change about my life, I mean, I've got two of my own and a stepdaughter. I would have loved to have had 4 children. I love it when all the kids are around and their mates, and that's for me the best thing.
I think your priorities change completely, don't they?
Well, they have to. They have to. Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you. I would love to have had more kids. My eggs ran out.
Not too late, darling.
Oh, boy, it's too late.